In 1953, over 5 decades of nothing but the best. 1430 KCOH Houston.
Every hood got their own hustlers, but this is the hustlers' anthem. Hustle hard.
You're listening to The Cut on 1430 KCOH Houston. The Cut is sponsored by Sunnyside Dental Clinic, Bud's House of Meats, Digital Storm Graphics, Holloway Houston, Howell's Barbecue, and Boyd's One Stop and Seafood Shop. You're listening to The Cut on 1430 KCOH, where no sophisticated or intellectual dialogue is ever tolerated.
Hustling, 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 hustling. Every day I'm hustling, 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 hustling. Like we always do about this time.
And now, live from the KCOH 1430 AM studios in 3rd Ward, Texas, it's The Cut with your hosts, Craig Shelton and Marcus Coleman.
Every day I'm hustling, 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 every day I'm hustling.
Hey, good evening, guys, and welcome to the show. This is The Cut right here on KCOH 1430 AM. I'm Craig Shelton, joined here in studio by my co-host, the hardest hitting co-host in the city of Houston. He's also a very angry and bitter black man. I watched
not today. I'm not bitter and black. I'm not bitter and angry today.
You know what? I believe that.
Bitter.
I believe that because I'm
today.
looking at that dark mauve. What the hell color is that? Is that? Wait a minute, man. You a Texas Tech Red Raider? What are you doing wearing UT orange?
Man, I roll with all colors. Columbia blue, scarlet red, no burnt orange.
I roll with all colors too.
I rocks it all.
Mike and DA.
Mike and DA.
Lamont.
Yeah. J Dirt.
Yeah. Tymo,
yeah.
You name them, man.
I roll with Gilbert.
Oh.
Anybody know Gilbert?
And Barry Warner.
And Barry Warner. I roll with all of them.
Barry Warner. We'll talk about Barry Warner in a little bit. Hey, man, welcome to The Cut. I'm Craig Shelton. As I was saying, I'm the shamelessly self-promoting Craig Shelton. Marcus Coleman, former NFL defensive back Marcus Coleman, is my co-host right here on The Cut every Sunday from 5 o'clock to 6. In studio today, we have my man, Will Lyles. That's right. Will Lyles is in studio. That creepy, grimy old Will Lyles. Will, what have you destroyed today? Today is Sunday. Have you been out destroying churches?
No, I haven't destroyed any churches. Maybe some plates of food.
I want to ask you something, Will. Will, have you taken any ministers on visits to other churches illegally?
No, I haven't.
You have not. Will, I'm going to ask you again. Have you taken any ministers on visits to other churches of a different denomination against NCAA rules? Are you following the rules?
I am following the rules. I have not taken any other ministers to churches.
All right, man. I'll tell you what, guys. That is Will Lyles, the embattled Will Lyles. Will Lyles, who is going to fight Jason Whitlock in about 30 minutes right here on the corner of Wichita and Alameda, right here in downtown, right here on Ralph Cooper Street, actually, right here in 3rd Ward, man. Will Lyles and Jason Whitlock. I'm sure that's at Whitlock Jason on Twitter if he's listening. Jason, you're an outstanding individual, and I hope you're listening to this little underground radio show with this blogger. What did Barry want to call me earlier? Some blogger?
Yeah, some blogger.
Blogger
guy.
This blogger guy with nearly 500,000 hits on blog or whatever, you know, so somebody's paying attention. But, Whitlock, I hope you're listening, because Will Lyles is here on the show, and you attacked Will Lyles in your article this week, and you made a couple of remarks on Twitter. And you retweeted one of my tweets earlier with a condescending comment toward Will Lyles. And I invite you, and I invite all those listening to tweet the mighty Jason Whitlock and ask him to give us a holler on the show. 713-526-1430. 713-526-1430. I'd like for you to do that, Jason. I'm sure you're a fine, upstanding citizen. And I'm sure you're a man of men. And if you're going to say something about a guy who gave you the first shot at him, you was the first guy to get an interview in the country.
Did he sell out when he did that?
I don't know. Was he selling out?
I mean, you get a first interview from anybody in the country to another African American individual.
He called the man a media whore.
You know, yeah, basically.
Was he being a media whore when he was giving Jason an interview? I tell you what, Jason. Let me tell you something. I'm glad that Will Lyles gave us an opportunity to be the first to interview him in Houston. And then he went further than that and gave me an opportunity to represent him as far as his PR with the Houston media. Because that's what we do at Houston Media Watch, www.houstonmediawatch.com. We're media watchdogs. So we know most of these guys personally. And I think I've tried to do a good job in helping Will along with that decision-making process of who he's going to talk to. That was a great article done by Joe Duarte with the Houston Chronicle last Friday. You can go back and archive that with the Chronicle. It's right there. Good job by Joe. I know there are other members of the media at sports talk stations around Houston that want to talk to Will. And I have not encouraged Will not to speak to anyone. But it's up to him who he wants to speak to. What I'm here to do is tell him a little bit about you, as I know who you are. And if he wants to talk to you guys, he will. I'm not going to spend all day with that, but I need to say that because I know I had a conversation with somebody today from another station who thinks that Will should have already talked to them because of who they are. Well.
No.
Well, anyway, we'll say hello to the city and to all of everybody out there in Twitter land, Facebook, and all that, man.
Hey, how you doing today?
Now, I'm sure now, Will Lyles, being the bad guy that he is, we will never be able to use that microphone again that he's talking on. So, do your thing today, Will. 713-526-1430. We got to talk a little bit about Derek Jeter before we get too deep into the Will stuff. Got to give some love, man. We believe in giving love to the 3,000 hit club here in this city because Derek Jeter has something in common with the former Astro, Craig Biggio, who also is in the 3,000 hit club. But those are the only two guys that hit that milestone by going 5 for 5. Jeter went 5 for 5 on yesterday. Jeter got started back in 1995 is when he got that first single. And I don't remember if it was a single, but that first hit, and it culminated yesterday with the 5 for 5 performance. And so I guess that gave. I think he was a couple of hits away at the time.
Yeah.
So I guess he's like 3,003 or something like that now. Mm-hmm. So if my math is bad, dear Ashley, Mike, do your thing, man. So give it up for Derek Jeter, man. Get your comments on that, Marcus. What you think about that accomplishment, man?
I thought it was amazing, and you know what? Derek Jeter is one of those guys that represents everything the Yankees stand for. You know, he hasn't gotten into any trouble off the field. He's always been very professional in what he does, and he's always been. You know, I myself question. You know, everybody says Reggie Jackson is Mr. October.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Derek Jeter, if you look at, you know, his history and what he's done in the playoffs, you know, going up to the World Series. I mean, he gets
his shine on.
He's in the run for the name of Mr. October. So I was happy to see him do it, especially since everybody, you know, they love, you know, and we know how it is. Everybody loved him, and all of a sudden, he's old, he's washed up, you know, everybody was, you know, coming down on him pretty hard, and for him to go out 5 for 5 and get his 3,000s on the home run,
pretty outstanding.
I couldn't be happier for him.
Will, your thoughts on that, man?
Well, I just think that Derek Jeter, just the one word that describes Derek Jeter is consistency. Mm-hmm. He's been consistent throughout an entire career, and making it to 3,000 hits is a very special milestone. So big ups to Derek Jeter and his accomplishment.
That was at Willie Lyles on Twitter. At Willie Lyles. If you follow Will on Twitter, your computer will not suddenly become filthy and burn on you. I promise you. Don't believe the hype. He's okay. He's a cool guy. Also, speaking of cool guys, I want to tell you about Dr. John Wiles over at Sunnyside Dental Clinic at 4040 Airport Boulevard. 713-738-1999. That's right, I said 1999. We need a little red Corvette on the show, man. I hear 1999, I start thinking about Prince, I start thinking about old school. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, Dr. Wiles over at Sunnyside Dental Clinic. They're open Mondays through Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. On Fridays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays by appointment only. Great service over there. They'll take great care of you. You know how we guys are. We're not too comfortable with the dentist. And our women wish we would be a lot more comfortable. They probably don't want to tell you that, but they'd rather you go see the dentist more frequently. Guys, go see Dr. John Wiles. He'll take care of you. I promise you, and you're going to hear a little bit more about it later in the show. Just make sure that you tell him that you heard it right here on KCOH, 1430 AM on The Cut. That's Sunnyside Dental Clinic, 4040 Airport Boulevard, 713-738-1999. We're going to keep it rolling. I agree with both of you guys in regard to Derek Jeter. And I know my man Mike and Derek Ashford is follows the Yanks, and I hope Mike will call in today and give us his thoughts on Derek Jeter's accomplishment. I hate to see the guys like Jeter who apparently did it the right way. You know what I mean? Never really heard any steroid stuff or anything like that with Jeter out there. Maybe next week on the show, that'll be something we'll talk about. I was thinking about Jeter last night. I was like, this guy has never really been associated with anything that wasn't clean. I think he get around a little bit with the ladies, but he's a single guy. But I was thinking, we've been so desensitized with steroid use. I mean, Tiger with the Canadian doctor, people started talking about that all of a sudden, with the knee not seeming to come back, even though he's 35 now. And I was thinking, man, now I've been desensitized to, but at the same time, there has to be someone out there that if I heard use roids, that would just tear me to pieces. And I came up with a name for me. And that name is The Dream, man. Hakeem Olajuwon. That would just tear me apart if I found out that The Dream was juicing back in the day. So maybe next week we'll have a little fun with that. And we got a lot of stuff on the docket, of course, today with Will in the studio. Sorry, Will. I know I said docket. Didn't want to get you all afraid, losing legal terms. Be cool.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But
no, we're fine. We're fine.
Yeah, exactly, man. Just having a little fun with my man. Hey, man, 713-526-1430. That's how you guys can get us on the cut. And I hope you guys out there on Twitter are doing your thing. Reach out to @WhitlockChasen. I want to talk to this guy, man. And I want to get going with Will a little bit here. And I want to go back to Whitlock's article. And I want to ask you something about it. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to start where he started.
That's fine.
Is that cool, Will?
That's fine.
I'm going to start where Whitlock started. Then also, @Sports by Brooks tweeted a series of questions earlier on Twitter. I know you saw those yourself, Marcus, on. And I'm not going to go through all of those questions because I mean it's our interview, so I don't want to sponge off the guy that way. But I will ask you some of those questions if that's okay.
Oh, that's fine.
And I'm going to read them just as he tweeted them.
Okay.
Cool?
That's cool.
All right, man. Jason Whitlock. And Marcus and I both saw this. And I'm not sure how Marcus felt about it, but Whitlock started his article by saying, in regard to Willie Lyles people, he said, street agent is too favorable of a description for Willie Lyles. Too favorable of a description. Sellout, attention whore, and snitch more accurately describe Lyles, the brand new media darling of the so-called college athletics investigative journalist. Now, before you answer that, two things right there to me. He's attacking you, clearly,
right,
but he's also attacking other journalists. So my mind immediately goes to the Yahoo folks who you gave the big article to. So I guess Jason is telling us, had you, after you gave him his initial podcast, and I'll ask you some more questions about that, I guess he's also saying, had you came and visited him for 3-4 days and gave him the same story you gave Yahoo, he in all his upstanding glory would not have published that report. He would have went to his people at, what is it, Fox, who he works for?
Right.
He would have Fox and said, hey, I got this stuff from Will, but he's an attention whore, and I'm just not going to write it. Go ahead, Will.
Well, I feel that in regard to the Jason Whitlock situation, he came at me completely sideways with the new article that he brought out, because he could have easily contacted me personally.
Jason Whitlock knows how to contact you personally in on what different avenues?
Oh, he can call me on my cell phone.
So he has the same number I have?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, go ahead.
And if he had any issues with what I did in the Yahoo article compared to his interview, he could have addressed that with me. And he didn't do that. So I felt that it didn't deviate much from the Yahoo article and his interview anyway, because the questions that were asked of me, I answered them the same way.
But respond specifically to him calling you a media whore, because I know for a fact for 3 months or more, you didn't have any comments to say to anyone.
Right. It's not about just trying to be out here in the media and garnering attention. It's about just speaking my piece and saying what it is that I have to say, which in my estimate is the truth, and that's how I feel about it. So I just discuss what the facts are, and that's it.
No, and I look at it the same way. I look at honestly, I don't necessarily think you had to say anything if you chose not to. To me, I look at it as, any other so-called scandal, investigative journalism, whatever, swanky name you want to put on it. It's all the same to me. If you choose to speak up, or if you choose to want to respond to anybody's articles, so be it. And for me, I'm just trying to figure out what's so different about you that's not any different than some of these other so-called street agents, recruiting services, the NCAA board members making $500,000 a year, flying around on private jets, visiting bowl committees, all the other things that supposedly are corrupt about the NCAA. Because to me, honestly, if you go off of the background of that and look at the history of the NCAA as a whole, this fits right in. This is part of the program, and it doesn't necessarily make you a bad guy. You're doing, what everybody else does. And I don't know if you necessarily feel that way, which is why you're here, for you to answer that. And, just what do you think about that?
Well, there are a lot of scouting services out there, and they operate how they operate. I feel that it was just very odd to me that I was singled out of hundreds and hundreds of agencies out there that do the same thing. So I always found that odd, and never really got a chance to discuss or talk about where it all came about. No one's asking that question, or no one's asking.
I'll ask it.
Why is it? Why is this happening? Why is this person the only person being singled out at this point?
Right.
So
I'll tell you what, guys. That's Will Lyles. That is Will Lyles right here on the cut for part 2 of the Will Lyles interview with myself, Craig Sheldon, and Marcus Coleman, my co-host. We're going to interrupt Will just for a second right there, because we've got to take a call real quick here, take care of a bit of business that I love taking care of, especially when I miss my man. Missed you last week, Jason. This is Jason from Boyd's One Stop and Seafood Shop at 227 Dyke Road in Texas City. He's on the phones. You can reach him at 409-945-4001. You can also join that Boyd's texting group, which Jason will tell you all about, at 41242. Get your phones right now. I'm sure you got them in your hand because you tweet. Save that number, Boyd's, B-O-I-D-S, 41242. You're going to text that number, and Jason's going to tell you all about it. Jason, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, Craig? How you doing?
Well, we're doing fantastic. Sorry we didn't get to communicate and get with each other last weekend on the show. Hey, when we missed like that, but we're here now, and tell us what's going on with you guys down there, Boyd's One Stop and Seafood Shop.
Well, I tell you what, man, it's just a carryover from July 4th. It's been the fish have really picked up. They're biting really well, and we've just been busy, man. It's been crazy busy. One thing I want to say, Craig, is we're not carrying crawfish anymore, but we're going to continue on our texting list with our shrimp prices each week.
Good.
So if you want to contact number 41242, type in the word Boyd's. You can get our weekly shrimp sales that we got going on in the week. We got 9/12 right now for $4.49. We got a slew of other sizes that just that's a super jumbo shrimp for $4.49 a pound. And yeah, if y'all need fresh seafood, we're probably going to be carrying crawfish, but I'm not sure what the price is going to be just for another week or two. But it's really slowing down, and so we don't have very much left with that. But shrimp, they really start catching shrimp this time of year. The Gulf is fixing to open up. And we're excited about that. And the shrimp prices are going to be really cheap over the next few weeks. So if you're going to load your freezer, now's the time to do it.
Now, guys, you heard that. He said super jumbo shrimp for $4.49. Is that correct, Jason?
That's correct. When you buy 35 pounds.
All right.
We're doing lots of 35, but
good deal. So what you guys need to do is get ready to fill up the deep freeze. Get with your mom, get with dad, get with your grandparents, the neighbors. Put it all together, and y'all go down and get a gang of seafood from my man Jason at Boyd's One Stop and Seafood Shop. And to join that Boyd's texting group, and you'll get a text. What is it? You do that text on Mondays, Jason? Tuesdays, what?
Mondays, Tuesdays, or Wednesdays.
Good deal.
We'll shoot that text out.
And so all you have to do, guys, is text 41242 to Boyd's, B-O-I-D-S. That's 41242 to Boyd's, and they will hook you up. You'll be in the Boyd's texting group, and that's all you get. Nothing else, no other spam, anything like that. 409-945-4001, and they're at 227 Dyke Road in Texas City. Jason, I appreciate you, man. I guess we'll talk next week.
Take care, Craig. We'll talk to you soon, bro.
All right, man. Thanks.
I see you.
All right, guys. That's my man, Jason. Look, do it. Be a part of that Boyd's texting group. 41242. 41242. Text boys. You need to do that. Keep up with those great prices at Boys. All right, guys, you're listening to The Cut. Craig Shelton, Marcus Coleman. We've got Will Lyles in studio. Let's go ahead and I tell you what, I'll go ahead and get a couple of calls in quick because we got one call holding from Seattle, and we've also got one of our regular callers, Patrice, on line 1. We'll take that call, and then we're going to get back to some questions with Will. And he said people are not asking some questions. I will. I'll ask where some of this is coming from. Okay. Point blank. I'll ask you, no doubt. Hello, Patrice.
Oh, hey, Craig. Hey, Marcus, and hey, everybody. My question for Will, thank you that you came back. I want to know, did you have a sports license?
No, I don't have a sports license. Okay. You don't have to have a sports. I want to say this.
Oh. I want to say this. With what you did, it was awesome. Don't beat yourself up. Maybe you should consider taking some course. Maybe that was the way. Maybe God want to put you in another area. So stop beating yourself up and stop listening to the negative. Maybe you should take some classes and shut their mouth up.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate the positive words. Thanks a lot, Patrice.
Hey, Craig, what you think about y'all mean?
We're gonna talk a little bit about that, Patrice.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about that. Thanks for the call as usual, and appreciate all the support. Patrice is always emailing and saying hello to me and Marcus, and just really supporting the show, and we definitely appreciate that. Let's go ahead and take one more. We got I believe we got Stuart in Seattle.
Big Stu.
What you say, Stu?
What's up, brothers? What's going on?
Not too much, man. Now this is this the Guru Stu on Twitter?
That's who it is.
Oh, man, I'm talking to the Guru Stu. All right, man. What you got for Will, Stu?
Well, hey, being a Pac-10 guy and living up here in the Pacific Northwest, we got no love for Oregon, especially Phil Knight controlling everything. But, Will just did what Will had to do. He wouldn't be doing what he's doing if people didn't want the information and what he could provide. And I say take the money, because all them big fat cats, like you say, rolling around, making the rules. And what is the NC2A? Who is that? That's a bunch of good old boys just doing what they want to do. And I just say, it's the old, by all means necessary, man. You got to do what you got to do, And if it wasn't the Will doing it, then somebody else is doing it. And it's just all pointing fingers, so they don't point fingers at themselves. That's all it is.
Hey, Stu, we appreciate that comment. We'll let Will comment on that, man.
Well, I appreciate the positive words, Stu. It's a very interesting game. If the information isn't needed, the coaches wouldn't have to purchase recruiting services, which universities across the country do as a whole.
Right.
And it's one of those things to where they've been taken off the road so much as far as with the NCAA rules is that they have to use people to recruit because they don't have the time or the ability to get it done like they used to because the rules changed so much over the years.
Will, all right, man. When you were here the first time, you commented a little bit, and I guess there are those that didn't either hear the first show or see the video podcast of it. So I'm going to ask again in regard to University of Texas. You say people are not asking, where did this come from, where did it start? I can't sit here and pretend like I don't have my own feelings about things based on what I've read, conversations we've had, things like that. UT, Will, University of Texas, Lake Seastrom. What else is out there? I mean,
well, for me, I can go back to the Fox Sports article that was written by Thayer Evans when the Temple coach was quoted as saying, when I found out Lake was with Will Lyles, working with Will Lyles, the first thing I did was call Major Applewhite, and he told me, and he said that he's a bad guy, Will's a bad guy, he's a street agent, he's not good to be around kids. So with that quote, I think that a lot of the sentiment about me came from that direction. I can't say exactly who or where it came from. I can remember that quote and know that was said to a high school coach, which in turn is used to try to hurt my business so high school coaches wouldn't want to deal with me so I can continue to do the job that I do. Mm-hmm. So I felt that a lot of that anger and that hatred was coming from that direction.
Okay. My second question here. Van Malone. I'm sorry, Yeah, Van Malone,
Yeah, Van Malone.
and the Patrick Peterson situation. I just got distracted because somebody from ESPN is on the phone. What the hell they want, I don't know. Van Malone and the Patrick Peterson situation, that's old news. So here's my angle with the Van Malone situation, and forget about what you can prove. I want to know what your gut is on some of this stuff.
Okay, I can give you my opinion.
Van Malone is a A&M guy, sister, right?
Right, he was an A&M assistant.
But he's a UT.
He's a UT guy.
Grad,
Yeah,
right?
Right, he is a UT grad.
What is your good feeling? Because Whitlock, I watched the Jason Whitlock podcast, and he asked you, well, why would Van Malone say these things about you that you wanted 80 grand for Patrick Peterson to come to A&M?
Well,
so what's your gut on this stuff?
There are a few things to expound on when talking about Van Malone and me being accused of asking for 80 grand. First off, it didn't happen. I didn't ask Van Malone for 80 grand. The second thing is, he never corroborated that conversation with anybody. He said he didn't say it to the head coach. He didn't tell the compliance office, or he didn't tell the NCAA. So if we did have that conversation and he didn't report that, that's an NCAA violation itself, and no one is speaking on that issue.
Right.
And then the third thing is, he also said that he wanted to recruit Patrick Peterson without going through me. But if we check Van Malone's phone records, you'll see that we've talked the years after that because he wanted my help in recruiting years after. So if someone comes to you and asks for $8,000 and you know that that's not the right thing to do, how logical is it for you to still deal with that person in recruiting? It doesn't make any sense. So, and then for it to come out 5 years later instead of supposedly when it happened, it's just not it's not a logical argument. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It personally, in my opinion, honestly, it has no relevance, and I don't know all the services. You know, I read some websites. You know, Rivals.com or Scout.com. You know, that's the only recruiting services that I look at when as far as Dave Campbell, Texas football.
Right.
You know, I do more reading. I guess I'm trying to figure out who are the biggest services supposedly that are in this country that are doing these recruitings for universities. But if you're, according to Jason Whitlock, if you're so low on the totem pole, then why do you matter?
Well, I feel that a lot of universities felt that the service I did provide was good. I mean, one thing I don't ask for money for players. That's something that's just completely ridiculous.
But why wouldn't you ask for money for players to take them to a particular school? Would that hurt your business by taking players to a certain school, or would it help your business?
Well, see, just using my service is provided for every university in the country, so it wouldn't make any sense for me as a business to target and send players to one school because I'm trying to build a business. And I'm trying to get as many schools as possible, not just one university to work with. It doesn't make sense. As a business model, it doesn't make sense.
Man, we really need a lot of time. We're going to go to a break here in a few, folks. When we come back, we're going to get into some of the questions that Sports by Brooks tweeted that he wanted me to ask Will. I'm going to ask a couple of those questions. You're listening to The Cut on KCOH 1430 AM with Craig and Marcus. We'll be right back. Hang in there. Craig Shelton here, speaking for Sunnyside Dental Clinic, and I'm telling you, it's my pleasure to do so. Been knowing Dr. Lyles for a very long time. We grew up together, good friend of mine, a guy that's doing great things in the community. Now, Sunnyside Dental Clinic is more than just a dental clinic. Dr. Lyles takes care of people. Good man, good heart, just likes to take care of folks. You have to go see him over at Sunnyside Dental Clinic, 713-738-1999. They're located at 4040 Airport Boulevard, open Mondays through Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. On Fridays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. by appointment only on Saturdays. Please, listen, Dr. Lyles loves people. And I know a lot of you guys aren't really comfortable with going to see the dentist. I'll admit it, guys. I'm a dental coward. I've been a dental coward for a long time. But last year I had a toothache that was about to drive me to the emergency room. I called up Dr. Lyles. When I got over there, his staff was waiting on me. And trust me, guys, he has a very nice staff, if you know what I mean. They knew that I was a dental coward. They made me feel so relaxed. By the time Dr. Lyles came in to take care of me, I was like a dental veteran. Go see my man at Sunnyside Dental Clinic, 4040 Airport Boulevard at 713-738-1999, and make sure that you tell them that you heard it right here on KCOH 1430 AM on The Cut.
Holloway Houston at 5813 Armour Drive sets the standard in heavy lifting technology. When you need to proof test a crane at any location, the professionals at Holloway Houston can help you choose the fastest and most economical method for your application. We will explain the differences between using the more traditional solid weights and the newer method of using water bag testing. With the equipment and the ability to do both, HHI is here to provide all of your lifting and testing needs. When your job requirements call for the renting of spreader bars, slings and riggings, load cells, water bags, and more, HHI has a full complement of equipment for jobs of any size. Whether you rent for one day or for several months, Holloway will work with you to supply the products you need when and where you need them. Call Holloway Houston Monday through Friday, 713-674-5631, 713-674-5631. Visit Holloway Houston online at hhilifting.com. Holloway Houston is a sponsor of The Cut on 1430 KCOH. Tell your baby daddy that The Cut with Craig Shelton and Marcus Coleman is now on, live on 1430 AM KCOH.
And what we have here, something great. Everything hooks, everything works. You're a real good cause, I'm a real good verse. Freestyle unrehearsed, so clean, no curse. And when the song's done, man, everything hurts. So I put it in reverse, goes back to the scene where I seen you first. Yeah, I need you to sing that single again. Play that video, I seen you a pen. 100 million scans in my mind all day. Calling in requests on the line always. Yeah, the president of your fan club, leading players up behind like a band love. I want you to know.
I'm Alicia Stewart, and you're listening to KCOH 1430 The Cut with your hosts Marcus Coleman and Craig Shelton. The 19th annual ESPN ESPY Awards ceremony airs on ESPN live from Los Angeles, Wednesday, July 13th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Running back for the Houston Texans, Arian Foster's last season's leading rusher, is nominated for 3 ESPY Awards Wednesday night. Born August 24, 1989 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to Carl Foster, a former wide receiver for the University of New Mexico. Foster moved to San Diego, California as a young teenager to live with his father after his parents' divorce. He played football at Mission Bay Senior High School, where he was initially misplaced as a linebacker, but became a full-time running back in his senior year. After playing high school football, Foster attended college at the University of Tennessee. He was a 3-year starter for the Tennessee at the running back position. On May 1, 2009, Foster was signed by the Houston Texans as an undrafted free agent. He launched his NFL career when he played his first pro game against the Tennessee Titans. In 2010, Foster replaced Steven Slayton as starting running back for the Texans, breaking many records, rushing 33 times for 231 yards and scoring 3 touchdowns. Arian Foster is nominated for Best NFL Player, Breakthrough Athlete of the Year, and the Strongest Performance Award at ESPN's ESPY Awards ceremony, July 13, 2011 at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The U.S. Navy commandos that swooped down on Osama bin Laden's compound May 2, 2011, coming from an elite operative known as Team 6, For 30 years has existed undercover, but now their cover is blown by the Discovery Channel. The squad was created in 1980 and has led many hunts and rescues, including the recent search and kill of Osama bin Laden. Team 6 will be exposed and explored on Discovery Channel tonight, July 10th at 9 p.m. Team 6, all of America thanks you. I'm Alicia Stewart, and this is 1430, Craig Shelton's The Cut. Now back to your hosts, Marcus Coleman and Craig Shelton.
Hey guys, we appreciate that, and we appreciate my niece bringing that little stuff there to you. I asked her to look up and do a little bio for you on Arian Foster, because I thought it is a great accomplishment. The season that Arian had last season, after the way that his tenure began with the Texans on the practice squad, and then just to come from where the guys came from, and the guys stayed out of trouble. And also you want to follow this dude on Twitter. He is a piece of work. Two of the deepest tweeters I've ever seen in my life are Arian Foster and that damn jackass Tyrese. What an idiot, man. That dude is talented as hell, but he's just too deep for me, man. Hey, don't get all philosophical on Twitter, folks.
No, that's not what it's for.
No, it's
not what it's for.
It's to be completely immature and childish is what it's for. But don't get all philosophical. God, man, we need
serious.
And SEAL Team 6. What more can we say? Great job in killing that terrorist, and good idea to let the American citizens get a little peek at what that SEAL Team 6 is all about. So I'll be sitting down in front of the Discovery Channel tonight.
Yeah,
check that out. Hey man, you're listening to The Cut, KCOH 1430 AM. You can stream this show at www.kcohradio.com. We encourage you guys to tune into The Cut every Sunday. My co-host is Marcus Coleman. Ladies, that is the real Marcus Coleman.
See, why are you doing that?
Tell them how to get you on Twitter, the real Marcus Coleman.
Wow. No, my Twitter handle is PatchMC42, PATCHMC42. Also, you can check out my blog. It's thebumpandrun.blogspot.com. I just threw up a couple blogs this weekend, as a matter of fact.
Right.
One about retirees, and I threw up a random one that you probably know nothing about. It was my top 10 James Bond girls.
Oh, I gotta get at that one.
Yeah.
Gotta get at that one. Not for any like creepy reason or anything, because clearly my fiance, who's home listening, is hot as they come, and I have. In fact, I'm not gonna even pay that blog any attention, man. I'm just gonna move on. HoustonMediaWatch.com is the blog that I write for. We got a couple of articles. I think we got 3 articles posted today, fresh articles posted today. www.HoustonMediaWatch.com is how you get our blog, and if you go to the very top left-hand corner of our blog, you can also, top left-hand corner, you'll see a direct link to Marcus's Bump and Run blog, and we cross-post stuff. Marcus stuff will be posted on Houston Media Watch at various times. We're a team around here, and we just work together in that regard. 713-526-1430. I've got people on the phones here, and I'm sure she's going to let me know who they are in just a minute. But Will Lyles is in studio with us today, folks, and we're proud to have him back. Will just being as accommodating as he could be to Marcus and I and KCOH, sharing his story with us. And Will has been pretty open to answer any questions that have been thrown at him. And on Twitter earlier today, at Sports by Brooks, one of the most respected blogs in the country, he tweeted several questions out for Will, and I'm gonna ask one. I think Marcus has got one he picked out that he wanted to ask, and mine is I'm gonna read it just as Sports by Brooks, at Sports by Brooks, the way he tweeted it. He says, ask Will, what did Art Briles get for the $10,000 payment at U of H in 2007? Did he escort Lake Seastrunk, that is, to Baylor?
Okay. No, I didn't. I never went to Baylor with Lake Seastrunk. And as far as the University of Houston payment, University of Houston wasn't a client that I brought on to MSL in the first place. So I spoke with them one occasion, but they weren't my client. So.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I mean that. All right. My question was Chip Kelly directly involved in the scramble, so-called, for the documents, or was it strictly Josh Gibson?
Well, no, I spoke with Josh, and I also spoke with Coach Kelly throughout that period, and the phone records will reflect that. So I spoke with both individuals during that time.
So Chip Kelly himself was a part of that entire deal.
I spoke with him and we did discuss it. Yes.
That's Will Lyles, folks, right here on the cut. KCOH 1430 AM 713-526-1430 is how you can get us on the phones. And I tell you what, my niece had to come away from answering the phones to do her piece at the beginning of the segment. So I'm going to take this call on line 1. I'm not sure who it is, but I'll take that call. Caller, what's happening with you today?
Oh, this is Melvin.
That's Mike indeed.
Yeah, Mike.
Chicago.
That's Mike.
Yeah. First of all, I caught on 610 what Barry said after after you called in.
Okay, please tell me that Barry Warner didn't insult me, because I was very respectful to Barry, and I respect Barry.
You didn't hear it?
No, I didn't. I didn't have time to listen to that.
Okay, I don't know actually what you said, but he said basically his bottom line was, all you are is just a blogger. My retort to that is, if Barry Warner was growing up as a black guy in 1960s in Buffalo, he'd be a bus driver today.
Oh, wow.
I mean, okay, okay, so that's my retort. Okay, Derek Jeter, a great career. I mean, what else can you say? He's one of the top 5 Yankees of all time. But you know me, I'm always the negative guy and always looking for the shady things.
So bring it on.
Okay. 1997, he weighed, according to the stat book, the media guides, 175 pounds. Okay. 1999, he weighed 200 pounds.
Are you saying Derek Jeter was a juicer, Mike? Just say it.
I would, yeah. I said it. Well, in those days, I said a lot of people, and it seems like everybody I said, from Clemens, you could ask Ralph Cooper. I used to say it, and everybody would say, "You're full of."
Well, Mike, let me ask you right here on this station, man, at KCOH 1430 AM, and I want you to be frank about it. Do you think Ralph Cooper is using steroids?
Yes.
Does Ralph take steroids?
Yes. I mean, Ralph. Think about it. Ralph is getting better and better. Ralph he gets older and he gets better. Mike, is Ralph using the juice, man?
Is he using PEDs?
Porterhouse steaks. All the porterhouse steaks he wins from Coach Rice. That put all the extra weight on. But one thing I have to say, the guy who got the home run, I don't know if you read the guy who caught the ball. Well,
right. He's going to get that ball to Jeter, right?
Yeah, he gave it to Jeter.
Oh, I already
and
did.
He said he didn't want anything to it.
Wow.
Anything for it. But what they did, they gave him 4 tickets, sweet tickets for the rest of the season. Very nice.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's a nice gesture.
It's nice to see a fan who does not catch the ball and doesn't want $100,000 or $50,000.
Well, whatever. Because if I'd have caught it, it would have started at $100,000. Straight up.
I went to a website where people were commenting, and they were calling him stupid. And, but the guy's Hispanic. They said, they called him stupid. Said you could have got hundreds of thousands or 50. Big money.
They don't know. He may be a wealthy guy.
Well, he's only 23 years old. I don't think he's that wealthy. He was sitting in the outfield seats also.
Yeah, I guess you got a point.
Right, but it's nice to see sometimes you have real good fans who aren't there to make money out of doing nothing.
I guess so. I don't take that from it, and I don't think he's an idiot or anything, but I would have sold it. I'm sorry. I mean, Jeter got his. I got kids in college.
Well, yeah, well that's what
some
of the people who wrote in said that Jeter ripped off the Yankees, so he should have done the same thing. And my last comment, the guy who died at the game.
And at the Rangers game, yes.
I'm just curious. This is what me thinking. You know how I think. I wonder if they autopsied him, if he had any liquor in him.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they checked that out.
Okay.
Mike,
he could have been tipsy.
Mike, you know what? You're a vibe. Mike, go watch horror movies, man. Mike, get out, man. Mike, come on, man. Mike, bye, Mike. Come on, Mike. God, Mike. Come on, Mike. God, Mike, go watch Jeepers Creepers, man. I know. 1 and 2.
We both still love you, Mike.
Mike is creepy, man. I wonder if he was drunk when he fell with his 6-year-old son watching to his death.
Yeah.
Come on, Mike.
Yeah, boy, hold my beer so I can get this ball.
You're listening to The Cut, man. Craig Sheldon, Marcus Coleman, man. We in studio. We got my man Will Lyles in studio. I'm gonna have to ask Guitar Dave and my man Adam Rapp is on line 4. You know we gotta get Adam Rapp. Who knows what Adam wants to talk about?
Do you think Jeter's juicing? Or did? Or took some kind of PEDs?
No, I don't, but nothing, like I told you earlier with my little, next week we got to really talk about some of this stuff, man, but no.
It wouldn't surprise me.
No, I wouldn't be shocked. No, man, I'm not shocked about anything. But you know what, as much as I'm proud of what he did and happy for him, He's not one of our guys. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, now, if it was BGO, I care.
Well,
I don't really
my
care.
guy. I mean,
well, I mean, yeah, you do the New York thing, but I'm just saying.
Go to China Club together. Back in the day, I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, I hung out with Scarface, man. You want to drop names?
I'm just saying,
I hung out with Too Short, you know, Baby and Cash Money All Star, your football and athletic guys against my rappers, man.
Face over at Herman Park. How about that?
Hey, man, hang on. We'll be right back. It's The Cut, Craig and Marcus.
On 1430 KCOH Houston. The Cut is sponsored by Sunnyside Dental Clinic, Bud's House of Meats, Digital Storm Graphics, Holloway Houston, Howell's Barbecue, and Boyd's One Stop and Seafood Shop.
Craig Shelton here. I want to speak to you guys about something that's really, really dear to my heart. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Something that's really, really dear to my stomach. Bud's House of Meat at 6730 Cullen Boulevard, 713-733-4363. That's your full-service retail meat markets, Bud's House of Meat. They've been in the community for over 34 years. That's dating back to 1977. So that tells you, folks, all you need to know about Bud's House of Meat, because plain and simply put, who can stay in business for that long in our community if they aren't providing a great service? When I talk about great service, I'm talking about great homemade products, homemade boudin, fresh boudin, many varieties of boudin, hot and mild. How about homemade sausages, garlic, Creole? Just go in there and tell them what you want. Hey, invent a new sausage. I'm sure my man Wayne over at Bud's House of Meat, he'll put it together for you. That's Bud's House of Meat, 6730 Cullen Boulevard, 713-733-4363. You can also log on to www.budshouseofmeat.com for more information. Make sure that you tell them that you heard it right here on The Cut on KCOH 1430 AM.
You're listening to The Cut live with Craig Shelton and Marcus Coleman on 1430 AM KCOH.
Yeah, you know what it is. Black stripe, yellow paint. I hear they scared.
That's Wiz Khalifa. He say, everything I do it big. You're listening to The Cut on KCOH 1430 AM. Craig Shelton, Marcus Coleman. We're here every Sunday, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. In studio with us today, Will Lyles, the embattled Will Lyles, who I guarantee you has a smile on his face every time I've seen him from the first day I met him. One of the most resilient young men I've come to know, and proud to say that Will is a friend of mine, and I don't give a damn what y'all think or what you say. He all right with me. I know where I came from, and I don't run and hide from nothing. And I know what I went through growing up and things like that. And I think we can all look at ourselves and say we could have done some things differently, and we'll probably be able to say that for the rest of our lives. So have your opinions, but try to be professional. You guys that are on radio and things. Barry Warner over at Sports Radio 610 was going in on Will today. Barry and I are cool, man. I respect my elders. Barry's a good friend of Ralph Cooper. I would never do nothing, to be just mean to that old dude for no reason. And I called Barry on the air, and I thought I had a respectful conversation with Barry and challenged him on some of the comments he made about Will. And I just asked him to be fair. I didn't try to change his opinions. I'm a little bit disappointed to hear that Barry tried to insult me after I hung up the phone. I'm not going to go through my list of credentials in life and what I do on my 9 to 5 because I don't have anything to prove to Barry. I'll say this about Barry and everyone at 610 and all these other stations that are ran by the majority. It takes a nation of millions to hold me back. Y'all couldn't deal with me when I was working for you. You kicked me out. You alienated me. And you still go out of your way to discredit everything I do. And clearly, I don't need your asses, And I keep my foot where you don't like it all the time. And I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to keep adding bloggers to this blog that are intelligent, fair individuals with their opinions and their takes. And we're going to continue to blog your asses to death because there's some things in this market that are not right. And I challenge any program director from any one of those stations, ESPN, Sports Radio 610, 1560 The Game, or Sports Talk 790. I challenge any one of you to publicly show me I'm wrong in regard to what I say about you and your hiring practices. I challenge you any day of the week. I'm here for the taking. Let's go for it. You won't do it because I'm right. Kids at Texas Southern University can barely get an internship if they call you. I know this for a fact. I know this for a fact. They can barely get a call back. I try to have an amicable relationship with you guys, but you are who you are, and you can sell it to these compromising Negroes, but you can't sell it to Craig. And I mean what I say. And Jason Whitlock, you're a compromiser, by the way. 713-526-1430. You're listening to The Cut right here on KCOH 1430 AM. I'm telling you, man, if Jason Whitlock shows up all right, I'm going to box him, Will. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. I'm very serious. All right, hey, let's go back to the phones. Guitar Dave, how you doing, man?
Craig, Marcus, Will. Craig, I'm with you on there. I've been around behind the scenes on radio. Not that I got paid for anything, but I know how that is.
Of course. And Dave, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Are you an African American man?
No, sir.
There you go.
Oh, okay. I just, because people say, oh, well, you just said you got my back on that, right?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Well,
that's what I thought.
Because I know that. Well, heck, it took me just on the local public radio station. Took me 4 years before they let me get up here and play guitar live.
No doubt. So what you got, man? You got any questions?
Well, one thing is, might be a little old news, but I'm happy for David Pierce. He graduated a couple of years behind St. Pius. He's the head baseball coach at Sam Houston State now.
All right.
And he is Coach Coob's brother-in-law. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Coach Coob's brother-in-law?
Yeah. He's married to Gary's sister.
His sister, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyway, other than that, I just wanted to give you a quick shout out. Yesterday, I took my daughter Ashley. We went to Lake Conroe and did that
How's the
carp
fishing?
tournament.
Did you fish or play golf?
No, we did the carp tournament.
Oh, the carp tournament.
Yeah, and
yeah, I heard Mickey talking about that. How'd you do?
Well, I got 7 pounds, but that wasn't the whole deal. We had a great time. My daughter, we ended up with 8 catfish up to 18 inches, man. So that was my reward right there.
Well, hey, Dave, this is what I want you to do. I want you to call Ralph Cooper's show on Friday, and I want you to talk to the legend, Link Ladden, man. He's a great angler, and he needs to you guys need to get to know each other, all right?
Okay, and what time is that?
5 o'clock on Friday.
I got you, cuz.
All right, buddy.
Hey, man, thank you, cuz.
No, thank you,
All
Dave.
right, thank you.
Right, thank you.
That is my man. That's Guitar Dave. He's been a long-time supporter, and we're going to keep it rolling. For you national guys that are listening, I know you tuned in today to hear a lot about Will, and we made that decision to talk about some things, but we also go kind of do the normal show because Will is moving on, man. And I'm glad that he is. And also I want to tell you that, yeah, we do take fishing calls on this show because this is Texas, dang it. And it just is what it is, man. We love to fish and we love to eat them. Hey, Adam Rapp, what's up, my man?
Marcus, Lesbian Craig, what's going on?
Oh, man, I'm good. What's up, buddy?
Mr. Lyles, good to talk to you.
Hey, nice to talk to you.
Thank you very much. Listen, Craig, they say the truth always brings goosebumps, and you going in on those other stations a minute ago while I was on hold just gave me the biggest goosebumps I've ever had.
Hey, man.
I'm glad you have a platform to speak your mind and tell good, educated listeners how it really is out there, because we've seen behind the curtain, and it's not pretty.
You know about it. You were there.
Absolutely, man. Well, we've been out here grinding real hard. We're getting ready for this big event, the H-Town Sneaker Summit at Toyota Center on July 31st. So, man, just doing that in sports rap. But I wanted to ask Will something.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so what you do as a service, and I apologize, guys, I'm on the road, so I missed the first 20 minutes of the show, but what you do is a legal process in the eyes of the NCAA and the universities, correct?
Right.
You offer a service to enhance their program from a ground level, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, why don't these universities certify that, and each university have somebody like yourself who is recognized and not in the shadows to where there's questions being asked whether this is legal or illegal, because that's all I keep hearing after this news broke, that, well, is Oregon in the clear? Is Oregon in the dark? I mean, what's going on? So I wanted to know, and if you guys would leave me on hold since I can't tune in on AM right now.
We'll do that.
I can hear the rest of the show, but I'm just curious as to why there's such an issue about this when you were doing something that was legal for the university?
That's a very good angle on that question.
Real quick, chow to yow. Chow to yow. It's been a good run, son, but you guys check out my blog on sporttraplive.com, and I'll take a listen.
Hey, Adam, appreciate it, man. And you got to get in studio soon, bud.
Craig, why? We're just bloggers.
Oh, yeah, right. Hey, man, that is my man, Adam Rapp, man. You guys have heard Adam in studio with us before, and we've done his show, his podcast. Will, is that something that may occur where this actually becomes maybe a legal, well, not a legalized, but something that's signed off by the universities and the NCAA?
Right. Well, what happens is at this point, the compliance departments actually handle and deal with recruiting services, but with the NCAA looking at rule change, they are going to adjust it accordingly to fit a more specific criteria and to try to eliminate more of the gray areas of recruiting services and how schools use them.
Yeah, guys, that's Will Lyles. He's been in studio with us. Will Lyles from Complete Scouting Service.
You know what? But my problem with that is that if you certify that or if you legalize that, there's no more amateurism, because now you've got legitimate agents. You know, whether it be, you know, college. I mean,
but couldn't it be? Couldn't it be pulled back from being an agent and be just more of what Will has done? The way he helped the Oregon kids with the testing situation and things like. I mean, mentoring.
No, I understand that, but if he's getting paid by, I'm speaking on if he's getting paid by, say he's just flat out affiliated with, let's just use, you know,
Texas Tech
University, yeah, and we pay him specifically. He goes out and recruits and whatever it is, you know, under our service. I mean, that's, you know, looking for players, looking for athletes. I mean, that's pretty similar.
I can kind of understand what you're saying as far as like almost like a professional team, how they have scouting departments and how
it's in the same. It can be grouped in the same.
Well, Marcus, let me ask you
in the same realm, which also creates another gray area.
Let me ask you a question, because we can never have conversations like this and not take advantage of a former NFL player, which means you play ball in college.
Yeah.
Let's go back to when you were a recruit. Now, I'm not going to ask you how much money you got paid. You already know you got paid for playing at Texas Tech.
Go ahead and answer. Yes.
Somebody told me I should bring my brother on the show to talk about him. I'm not bringing my brother on the show to talk about how Texas Tech paid him, allegedly.
Allegedly, exactly.
But with a guy like Will Lyles, would you have used a service like Complete Scouting Service when you were being recruited? From what you know about it now. Or did you even use a service?
No, see, that's the thing. Back then, like I'm 80 years old, but yeah, back then, when we were coming out of high school, it wasn't, you know, or I wasn't aware of it. We didn't have, you know, recruiting services or guys coming in, you know, that were not affiliated or were not, you know, actual coaches, you know, from the universities come in and see us.
Now, that's a difference in the rule changes from when you were being recruited to now.
Yeah. So we didn't have any of that. Like, I saw all coaches. I didn't talk to anybody else. Nobody's secretary called me. Nobody's, you know, recruiting agency called me.
Well, you have a daughter that's in athletics, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you see yourself allowing your daughter to see a service like Will's come in and provide some assistance?
If I didn't know already, I would probably say I would explore it. I would explore it. But because I know and I've already been through it, I mean, there's no reason to.
Yeah. But do you see a place where?
But I would say if I did have that when I was coming out of high school, yeah, I probably would have used it, because kids now. I mean, I was watching 2 kids from Whitewater High School yesterday.
Right.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
Right.
But I saw them. Right. You know, so you know there's so much that can be gained from it. You know, more exposure for the kids, opportunities to be recognized and seen by, you know, all the universities across the country, not just people only in the South. You know, if that's where you go to high school, if you only go to school in the North, you know, you get, you know, tons of exposure.
Will, we appreciate you coming back in studio, man, and giving us an opportunity to talk to you again.
Definitely appreciate it.
Complete Scouting Services is Will's business, and I hope, man, when this is all said and done, that you get an opportunity to continue providing your service, man.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for everything.
Before we go, I know y'all don't care, but I care. I want to.
Oh, you got to do it.
I want to congratulate the United States women's soccer team for banging on Brazil. I don't know if that.
You're banging on. I've seen those Brazil girls. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You know what? You close the show on that one. I'm
like that. Yeah. See y'all next week. Thank you for tuning in.
It all started in 1953. Over 5 decades of nothing but the best. 1430 KCOH Houston.